If the only thing you are selling right now is locked messages and the occasional PPV, you are probably leaving money on the table. And I say that with a lot of love because when I first started, you guys, I did not even know what a tip menu was. Nope, I had no idea that we could and honestly should be selling more services and goods than just PPV, right? So if you have ever just sat there staring at your page thinking, okay, cool. Cool. But what else am I actually supposed to be offering? This video's for you. And I want to give a huge thank you to the creator who left a comment under the Fansly 101 video here on YouTube who suggested this as a resource. Their comment said, "Do you think you could also make a tip menu video of things to put on a tip menu for a Fansly, please?" To which I screamed, "Duh, yes, absolutely, thank you for asking." And even though this question came from someone specifically requesting information about Fansly and a Fansly tip menu, we're gonna spread it out, right? This is not really Fansly specific at all, okay? This applies to way more broadly than that. We are talking about what you, as an adult content creator, can offer on your tip menu, both on your regular adult content platforms like Fansly, OnlyFans, what have you, and off your regular adult content platforms, like if you're selling on Reddit or Telegram. Also, quick reality check before we even dive into this, you guys. This is not every single possible thing you can be selling. No, this is not an exhaustive list. There is absolutely going to be things that I missed. It would be a full-blown podcast series of episodes to try and get them all, and y'all, I was still not even be close. To be very heavily upfront, I'm basing a lot of these items that I did select to include in this based around both my own personal menu, which I'll put here. Mind you, this is a bit of a cleaned up version. I do have some imagery on it, but we're on YouTube, y'all. We're on YouTube right now. I'm also basing this around the r/fetish buyers community pricing guide, which I will link below. So let's get started, and let's start with digital goods because this is where a lot of people naturally tend to begin. So one of the most obvious offerings is custom photos. This is a custom made to order photo or photo set based on a buyer's prompt, based on a outfit request, based on a fetish or a theme. You can price these per image or as bundles. I'm a bundle girly. Honestly, bundles are often easier to sell and easier to list cleanly on a menu. For a rough average market value, the price range sits around $3 to $5 per custom photo. But a lot of creators, like I said, do better with set bundle pricing instead of like nickel and diming every single photo. It's just a lot easier. This is also a really easy place to upsell and earn more for the same service. You can charge for outfit requests. You can charge if you have to change your camera angle. Charge per camera angle or setup. Fetish requests can be an upcharge. Things like that. Then we move on to custom videos, which is probably one of, again, those first few things people think of when they start thinking of a tip menu. I know for myself, my very first tip menu was custom photos, custom videos. That's it! This is a made-to-order video based on a buyer's prompt, script, kink, scenario, or whatever request they're bringing to you. It's so important to remember, you guys, you are not just charging for minutes on a timer. You're not. You're charging for scripting. You're charging for your setup, for your filming retakes, for your editing, for your props, for how niche the request is, and whether or not the video can be repurposed later. This is so important, you guys. Reuse your content. Reuse your custom videos. Resell them. But if a custom cannot be resold, it should usually cost more than something you might be able to repurpose in some way. Charge that exclusivity fee, you guys. I'm just saying. Most creators price customs in a per minute or by block timing length. So common ranges for per minute pricing, which is what I do. The common range sits around $5 to $15 per minute, with about $10 a minute being the common average. I heavily suggest you guys require a minimum length of time in your custom video orders. That way, okay, you aren't receiving an order for a 1 minute long custom video that you're going to end up spending more time, more energy, and more labor than you are going to receive in return capital. And again, add-ons here are a really great way where you can build this out. Outfit requests again, super high resolution, using their name, showing an image on screen, making it exclusive. Again, all of that can be priced separately. I recently saw wild success with just a graphic I did. I simply made this graphic and I shared it on my Reddit profile or my selling profile. And you guys, it just lists out what the custom video experience is and what the add-ons are in 3 days. In 3 days. 3 days, I had made well over 1K from custom videos alone, and the bulk of that 1K did not come from the amount of time I filmed, but rather the add-ons that buyers included. So custom audio is another one that often gets way overlooked, way too often. Personalized audio can look like things from personalized voice notes, guided fantasies, dirty talk, role play, affirmations, humiliation, instructions, or specific fetish type audio, you name it. You can price audio by the minute, by script length, or by the finished file. When it comes down to pricing, it's not just about length. Equipment here matters too. Okay, if you have a good mic and you spent a lot of money on that and you are editing your audios on like actual editing software, that absolutely adds value. Sound effects can be an upcharge as well. I'm so sorry, you guys. I looked everywhere, but I could not find significant enough data on the average market range for custom audio. So for myself personally, I charge $6 a minute at my very base, and I require a minimum length of time at 10 minutes. Okay, and then we're going to move into more live sessions, and we get into sexting, which are one of those services that can be huge earners if you price them in a way that makes sense. This, for me, is my top performing and top earning live service. Sexting sessions are live one-on-one DM-based sessions, so they look like a lot of different things. Sometimes they can be text-to-text. Sometimes they can include live or pre-made custom photos, audio, or videos during the session. Usually these are best sold either by the minute or in time blocks. In your menu, you need to clearly state the difference in the tiers. So clearly differentiate text only from sessions that include pre-made media, sessions include live custom media, etc. Minimum booking times, you guys, I'm going to heavily encourage you on this too. Heavily encourage you. Most people seem to set a 10 to 15 minute minimum. Market average pricing sits at around $3 per minute, and longer block pricing often comes with a discount. Okay, let's talk. Let's chit chat. I'm going to be super honest here. This is something that drives me batshit crazy. $3 a minute for anything more than just safe for work dedicated texting. That is highway robbery. I have priced my sexting services way above market value from day one, and it is still my top performing live service. All right, and connected to sexting in general, we also have drip sexting, which is more focused for those girlies employees on platform. Drip sexting is often practiced through locked messages and locked content. It usually starts with slightly flirty or suggestive media priced at a lower unlock, and then the prices just slowly raise as the conversation gets hotter and the media gets more revealing or more customized, right? That media can be locked text, locked live audio, pre-made pictures, custom video, whatever is fitting the flow of that session. Pricing here is really hard to average down, right? Because it depends so much on the media and the media type and the media content you are sending, and where the buyer is in the session. This is one of those areas where knowing your subscribers' spending habits by tracking them and their budgets can really, really, really help you decide where to start with that first media, that first low priced one, and tell you how high you can reasonably go. Cam calls and audio calls are another category to look into, and these should be treated like premium labor offers because they require your full dedicated attention in real time. A cam call is not passive income. An audio call is not passive income. You are actively there, actively performing, actively managing the whole thing during the performance. Per minute pricing can work really well for a lot of creators, but flat block pricing can work too if that feels easier for you and your business. Either way, minimums matter a lot, you guys. Oh my God. Because if you are charging market average, which is about $5 to $10 a minute for video calls and around $2 to $5 a minute for audio calls, you need to ask yourself, is it really worth setting up, getting this set up, getting your camera running, and prepping for a live performance and doing all of that for a 1-minute show? Usually the answer is going to be no. So next up, we look at ratings. So in a rating, a buyer will send you a photo or a video of themselves, usually their genitalia, and you respond with text, audio, or a video reaction rating what you saw. These are usually flat fee services that are priced relative to the amount of labor that goes into their individual creation, right? So your text response is going to be a lot less priced than your video response. Average market ranges look something like $10 to $20 for text only, $15 to $30 for audio, depending on length, and $20 to $60 for a video rating, again, depending on length. And this is another place where creators can sometimes add tiered upcharges based on, like I do, my level of nudity or the exact format being delivered, any extras, any customizations, etc. Then we move over into GFE or BFE, the girlfriend or boyfriend experience. This is a higher touch package where a buyer gets access to you over a longer period of time. This can include a lot. Just about anything. People often include chatting, photos, clips, session windows, voice notes, check-ins, and sometimes things like live calls. What is actually included varies creator to creator, and that is why boundaries here matter so much. So my GFE includes intermittent texting throughout the 8-hour day, very clear on that. Around 10 live clips or pictures throughout my day that were a mix of safe for work and teasing content. And then either one cam session up to 5 minutes long or a sexting session up to 15 minutes long. I'm so clear when I describe those, and that clarity matters because if you do not define what is included, you will end up accidentally underselling unlimited access to yourself for like $0. GFE and BFE should usually be priced as premium package, not like just casual easy peasy chatting. The cleanest way to price it is to decide exactly what is all included, total up the value of those individual components, and then build the package price from there. Average market values can look like something from $50 to $100 for one day, to $200 to $500 for 1 week. And then we have people who sell GFEs and BFEs for a month, and that's usually priced from $750 to $1,500 for that 1 month. I need you all to please remember that this is premium pricing territory. You are selling access, energy, time, and structure, and that is not something to casually underprice. You are worth premium pricing. You are. And then there are task-based and fetish-based services. These can include custom assignments, accountability tasks, humiliation tasks, service-oriented dynamics, which you would require proof of completion content, or other fetish-specific deliverables. These are often delivered through text, audio, or video files. Pricing here depends on the level of involvement and how interactive the session is. Key holding, for example, can look like $25 to $50 per week for a less involved experience. But if a client wants high touch involvement and a lot more interaction, that can jump to $100 to $200 weekly. For individual tasks, average market range sits around $20 to $30 per task, but remember to price this depending on the labor that goes into delivering the task. So for example, if you are sending a task in a text format, that should probably cost a lot less than if you're sending a full recorded video task. Now, let's move into physical goods, because this is a whole different branch of selling. I'm going to include my menu for my physical goods somewhere here so you can reference that. Panties are probably one of the first physical goods people think of. This is worn underwear shipped to the client, and often the order includes at least one complimentary proof of wear photo of the creator actually wearing the garment during the wear time. Average market value for panties sits around Duffy just snorted. Sits around $25 to $40 for one day of wear, but the real money in physical goods tends to come from add-ons, which we covered recently. Extra days of wear can add about $5 to $15 daily. Specialty or fetish wear like no wipes or stuffing can add around $10 to $20 over the base price or per add-on. Play sessions, workouts, no showers can each add another $5 to $15. Extra photos can add about $2 to $5 per photo. Vacuum sealing, because yes, some creators can charge extra for vacuum sealing, whereas some just include it in the base price. That can look like $0 to $10. So again, the base price is only one part of the picture, and it is a small part of the picture. When we move towards other garments, we look at bras and lingerie, which are another physical category. But this is a category where you need to keep your cost of goods in mind, because it's a much bigger consideration. If you are selling a $300 lingerie set for $50, you're losing money. So yes, this can be profitable, but only if you are actually accounting for what the item cost you in the first place. Average market value for a bra wear sit around $30 to $70 for a single day's wear, while lingerie and sets can look more like $50 to $120. And y'all, if it's brand name, upcharge for that shit. Charge to cover your cost of goods. Then we go over to a different category with socks, stockings, and pantyhose. Worn socks tend to sit lower, around $15 to $30 for one day of wear, whereas stocking and pantyhose rate quite a bit higher, around $30 to $70 for one day of wear. And the most common upsell here is just extending wear time, adding extra days, or things like no showers and workout sessions while wearing the garment, etc. Okay, we gotta stop here, you guys, because I feel like that covers quite a bit and it was a lot of numbers. There is so much more out there though, but there is one very important thing. There was just one big note that I do want to end on. You do not need to offer everything, and in fact, you probably shouldn't do that. Okay, a strong menu is one with the most options. It is the one that fits your energy, fits your boundaries, fits your niche, fits your available time, makes financial sense for you, is easy to explain, and is easy to deliver consistently. Some creators are going to do best with a simpler business built around subscriptions, pre-mades, and the occasional customs. That's how I started. Other creators are going to thrive on one-on-one service and premium access packages. That's how I do it now. Neither one is automatically better. The goal is not to build the biggest menu. The goal is to build a menu you can sustain. So if you are newer, start with fewer options and learn what actually sells and what you can do. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to launch every possible service at once. But if you are like me and are more experienced, I think the better question is not what else can I add, right? More like which services are actually profitable and which ones are eating up my time because I have not repriced them yet. So I sincerely hope that this answers that commenter's question and we covered what we needed to for you. And I hope this could have helped at least one other person looking at redesigning or starting their menu. I also very much so hope you are very safe. Very sane. And I hope you are thriving.